So as you can see, the sun is just starting to hit the horizon, and I'm out here fishing with my buddy Brett, just like yesterday, and we're just trying to catch a really quick flash bite here in the evening, right as this evening bite window starting to open up. I'm running 2D sonar today because you guys asked to see some 2D sonar. We're drilling holes right now. We don't want to be drilling holes during prime time. Brett actually just got done cutting a bunch of holes up shallow. Right now we're fishing kind of weed edges, and as you'll see on the 2D sonar, it can be a little bit tough with marking fish because some of those weeds will fill up some of the bottom of the screen. But before we do anything, before I pulled out this camera, we made sure to get everything set up, and I made sure to get my dead stick in the water. Having the dead stick ready to pop off at any moment is especially huge, just to have a chance to catch fish. I didn't want to be messing with cameras until I had that in the water. So anyway, we're chasing some evening walleyes here. Hopefully we catch something for you. And yeah, I'm gonna get to jigging. First weapon of choice for the evening is just going to be like a tiny little orange and chartreuse and white buckshot spoon, and that's a real small one. That one must be an 1/8 ounce, and I just want something that's going to be finesse here. If a walleye comes in and takes a look at my bait, I don't want to be disappointed that it didn't bite because maybe I was using something too big. So I'm not sure what Brett's going to be using, but this is what I'm starting with for now, and maybe if the fish are active, I'll switch to a more active presentation. Basically what you're seeing all through the screen here is basically just you're picking up standing weeds that are right on that weed edge. And what I like to do in these situations is play with my gain. So as you can see, I actually have the gain still open up on the top of the screen, and I like to just monkey with it a little bit and try to figure out where it looks the best. So you can see if I turn it down a little bit, I can see my line, or I can see my spoon really good up there, but maybe not quite as good down where it's picking up the weeds a little bit more. So what I like to do is just punch it up a couple to the point where my bait is actually red. So now I can see that red streak all the way down to the bottom here. When you're using a live unit that's spread out, you're gonna be able to see where that weed clump is, you're gonna be able to see where your bait is. And when you're using 2D, you're kind of limited in these weed fishing situations, but you should be able to see some action. Like, you should know when there's a big fish coming up here. So that's kind of how I set up my my sonar for these kind of situations. And you guys have been asking for more tips and advice when I'm using 2D specifically. So there's some tips. I'll share a few more tips in this video as well. And it looks like there's actually a fish coming up right now. Tough to say if that's a walleye or not. If it's a perch or what the deal is, but you can kind of see that dark red mark come up through the lighter color situations. I'm just gonna see if I can work him up a little bit higher even. Give it a little shake. Now it looks like he's going back down. It's possible that could be a perch. Fish identification can be difficult, like right now when the screen kind of looks like that. But there is some action, which I think is probably a good sign. Whether that's a perch or a walleye, I'm not sure, but I think it's just a good sign nonetheless. If it's a walleye, that means walleyes are there. If it's a perch, that means the walleyes are probably gonna be coming through looking for those perch. So another thing that I would encourage you guys to do while you're trying to just figure out the best way to mark fish is just experiment with all the different settings in here. There are no magical settings that are the best for all situations. So gain is an important one to look at. You can play with interference rejection. Sometimes that's going to look better. As you can see, when I did that, like, it really changed what it looks like. So no matter what you're doing, like, one thing that's super important to remember is that there's no magical settings for your flasher. Like, you need to be playing with everything depending on where you're fishing. If you're fishing in a deep, muddy basin, you know, you're gonna want different settings than when you're fishing up in, you know, shallow, gravelly area or a weed line like we're in right now. Are you marking? Brett's about to get bit. So Brett just marked, that's a good sign. I guess I'll finish up my tip here. Like, you need to be experimenting with different things. Gain is very important. Like, play with your gain, figure out the best deal with what you're looking for, and you just got to play with it. Like, I feel like 6 is the best for me right now because I can see this red line. I can drop it down. When a fish comes in, it's going to be dark red. But then, you know, play with your interference rejection. That's another thing I'll mess around with. And this looks pretty good too. So I'm going to be playing with some of this stuff this evening because I got to figure it out. Like, every time you go out, your settings are probably going to be different. You can play with cone angle is another thing that can be important, whether you're fishing in deep water or shallow water, or, you know, if you're trying to get things out of your cone. So experiment every time you go out in the water. And that's how you're gonna get your graph reading the best.
Flag just popped. She's peeling line, but it just stopped running. On. Whew, that feels good. That thing was screaming line at first. Kinda like a pike would, but it's fighting like an eater walleye. And the eater walleye is slowly getting bigger.
I don't hate the sound of that.
Unless it's in the weeds. Oh. Man, that felt good, dude.
Well, you just saw a bunch of fish.
I was just getting so frustrated, questioning my abilities, and graphed like literally 7, 8. Now it's wrapping around like a burbot. Graphed like 7 or 8 walleyes and couldn't get one to bite. And then finally the flag popped.
Ooh.
Nice walleye.
Ooh. That's a serious fish.
You know what's good when you can't get them to turn their head up the hole?
Oh my word, Brett. I'm serious about that. You gotta be kidding me.
Dude, last time we snuck out on gull, we only caught a couple dinks and we said we were gonna redeem ourselves. First fish of the night, man. Look at the orange on that thing.
Oh, just give me 2 seconds. Let me get the flashlight.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. Here, this will be a little bit better.
Let me just pop that hook quick. It's actually not, it's like skin hooked. Please don't bite my finger off.
Dude, that is a toad.
Look at that fish.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh man. First one of the night, let's do it.
Oh. All right, let's get that thing back in the water. That was a big fish. I feel like I have to like pinch myself. That was a beautiful, gorgeous, chunky, girthy golden walleye. And obviously you probably noticed that thing went off in the dead stick. Brett has an iFish Pro set up. I have a dead stick over there. That iFish Pro is a teeny bit shallower than where we're jigging right now. But there are fish moving through the area. I've marked one so far. Brett's marked several over on his unit. Brett.
She's not like the last one, but we take any. Still a nice fish. A pair of them came in at the same time, and I think that competition is what made that happen. Nice fish though. Oh man, the first one came in by itself and was kind of moving slow. It would come raise up at me, and then when that second one came in, it was just a total mood change. This one was like, nope, it's mine. And what finally got him to bite was I started pulling that spoon up. I was about a foot off bottom. I pulled it up like 2 feet higher, and then he shot up and just crushed it.
Gorgeous.
Again, man. Thanks, buddy. Well, I thought the flash bite was about done. We'll take any of these.
Yeah, we were just talking about how we thought it was over.
Yeah, I was literally just about to go slide a dead stick up shallow on top of the weed flat to see if we could get any bonus bites after dark. And then I literally stood up and it was like, oh, here comes one on the graph. Insane.
All right, so just super quick, Brett is gonna tell us a little bit about where we're set up and why it's important that we're set up the way we are. So yeah. I'll hand it off to Brett.
Yeah, so if you want to take a little peek at the screen here, we're fishing the edge of a big flat. This is where it goes deeper down behind my back, but straight up ahead, you can see about 8 to 10 feet away is right where the weeds start to taper off and flatten out. And these fish are just roaming that edge. And most of them, when we first got here, were sliding up from the deep water behind me. And now as we got to the tail end of this kind of flash bite window, the last couple I've actually seen come out of the weeds and from this angle towards my bait right there. And what it is it's just a big giant cabbage flat. It's all like 6 to 10 feet with weeds up 3 feet under the surface, and then it goes from like kind of that 15-foot range to 18. There's kind of that shelf what we're sitting on before it breaks off into 30 feet of water. And it's typical flash bite clear water from sunset 30 minutes after. All of a sudden you graph 10 walleyes and catch a couple, and before that and after that you just sit there and twiddle your thumbs, and it's just, my adrenaline's going right now because it's just like such a short window. You got to capitalize on every bite, and we sometimes can pick up a few after that 30 minutes past sunset by going up on top of this flat, and it's 9-10 feet at the deepest, and weeds literally come 3 feet under the surface, and you feel hopeless sitting there looking at a screen with 3 feet of fishable water. But you'll be sitting there jigging, and once in a while we'll get like 2 or sometimes 3 on a really good night bonus bites up on that flat after dark, and you barely, oh, grabbing one right now, and you barely see them. They just come flying in. So I don't know how long, there's one high too. I don't know how long he was down there. I wasn't looking at my screen.
He's gone now, or is that? He's
gone. There's one down there, and then there was a high suspended one too with him.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Like,
crazy.
Yeah, it's coming through, so I think we might get some more opportunities. One thing that was interesting while we were setting up here, I talked about it a little bit already, is like we want to drill these holes before this hot bite happens, and you know, get dead sticks down as fast as we can, and like get lines in the water and take advantage of this small bite window for this quota.
Look at this big one flying in. Sorry to cut you off. There's one coming from shallow and deep. I'm gonna lower a little bit because that one's real tight to bottom. See if I can get him to lift up. Of course, he probably won't cooperate. Just trying to get his attention right now. And sometimes if that doesn't work, I'll drop right down to bottom and literally pound the bottom a few times. And then raise up again, and you hope they turn around and turn on it then. Oh, he's turning. Boy, that would be cool if it worked out how you want it to, right? He's looking at it, but just not into it.
He's turning, yeah, he's swimming away now.
And I mean, we're just kind of on that tail end of that flash bite where all
Brett,
of a sudden
the flag is up.
Flag just popped? No way.
I don't know how long ago it popped. I just looked.
I was just looking at it. We got 10 minutes to catch fish.
We're just gonna follow Brett around. Brett gets to reel in all the fish. Ooh.
It's not pulling the line if he's still there.
I think he might have been on there a long time ago.
I just looked at it.
Did you?
Never leave fish to find fish.
Okay, so no fish there.
No, but there was still one on my graph, so I'm looking back.
Alright, I'm gonna go chase Brett in a second. I'm just gonna finish up what I was gonna say. It was really interesting when we were getting set up out here. Obviously you wanna drill those holes before you start fishing, before that bite starts to happen, because you don't wanna scare those fish away. But it was interesting how we were sort of, Brett, with this weed edge bite, Brett had made it a point to scan around and make sure that we were only drilling really good holes that were right on the weed edge. And I'm gonna start walking over to Brett just in case something interesting happens. Is it still down there?
No.
Okay, she gone. But just using live to scan around and say, okay, 30 feet over there, you're gonna be right on a weed edge. That's gonna be a good spot. And when it's dark like this, you can't see all your holes, and you ideally don't want bad holes if you're gonna be hole hopping and looking around for fish. At least that's what Brett's theory on the whole deal was.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've come out here when, there's one coming up off the bottom. I've come out here and you drill just a big grid of holes and you got 90% of them that are garbage, and after dark it gets really hard. He's turning on it. It gets really hard to hole hop around and find a hole that's like not right in the middle of a weed clump or whatever. So using that technology to drill right on those edges, every hole we drilled is a high percentage spot. You know that you're right on the edge or right in a pocket, or like a little, these holes back here with
Brett, here, take this for me.
Wow. This is getting hectic.
Pure chaos.
Uh-oh. Oh, he's still there. This is getting hectic, man.
There we go.
Nice, dude.
This one does not feel giant. I drag plenty loose in case it decides to get giant and start running. Oh, a little bit hectic. It's right there at the bottom.
Nice fish.
Ooh. There we go. Hey, look, I get to catch a fish too.
Now we only have 7 more minutes.
Ow, 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 ow. That was very, very risky. All right. Beautiful golden walleye. Flash bite walleye. Out of breath, just from like running around, talking to the camera. I think this is like a 6-minute clip right now.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm gonna get him right back in the water and we're gonna see if we can get some more. Whoa! Ah!
You're gonna have to clean that lens off, homie.
Pure chaos.
This is incredible. Oh, dude,
this is fun.
5 more minutes, let's go.
Tiny little bite window. Oh, Brett just missed the fish.
You always have to shut off your flasher before you start packing up, or you'll never leave.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that tip, but Brett said you always have to turn off your flasher before you start packing up, otherwise you'll never leave. And that's just how it goes. I thought Brett was setting the hook there. Anyway, it looks like here he's coming over here. You guys get to see Brett one last time, the hero of the day.
Well, you've been whooping my butt. It just felt good to catch a couple fish, so.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. No, we were out yesterday and we did some daytime fishing yesterday, and then we decided to sneak out for a little bout today, and I did kind of kick Brett's butt yesterday, but yeah, you did slightly better than me today.
What's tomorrow gonna bring? Should we go again?
I think, okay, so I don't know if I can talk Brett into it. If I can, I think we might sneak back out here for the morning bite. So that's what we're thinking. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll catch some walleyes, and tomorrow is Christmas Eve, I believe. So there's some Christmas Eve festivities that I got going on in the afternoon. So if I strike out in the morning, I'm not going out for anything else. So so hopefully we get out here early enough and we don't hit snooze too many times on our alarm.
Oh, like this morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
Show up 10 minutes too late and miss the flash bite. Might as well have just slept in till noon.
Yeah. No, so that's the plan. We got to make sure we get out here early enough tomorrow and see if we can catch some Walters. I don't know what to tell you. That's the end of the video. Bye.
See ya.